Better than me, I
Go ahead.
expect.
Introduce yourself, please.
Okay, ready when you are, CB. We'll go? Okay. I have 3 short poems.
Introduce yourself.
Oh, I'm Douglas Taylor. I have 3 short poems that I'd like to preface with a monologue from a movie called Crossfire. This monologue is spoken by Robert Young, who's investigating the murder. I think it's on an army base, investigating the murder of a Jewish soldier. He tells his story to another soldier who he hopes will help him to find the evidence to convict Robert Ryan, who's the main suspect in the murder. The monologue goes like this. He tells him this story. About 100 years ago in Ireland, the potato crop failed. It was serious. A lot of Irish came over here. Their talk was different. Their religion was different. They were Catholics, most of them. They settled down in different places. They liked it here. One of them I knew about. He had been a farmer. He stayed in Philadelphia. He worked and saved to buy some land. He thought of himself as just another man living in America. Then, suddenly, one day, he looked around and saw that something had happened. It frightened him. Fear and hatred of all Irish Catholics had developed and spread like a terrible disease. He saw that he wasn't an American anymore. He was a dirty Irish Mick, a priest lover, a spy for Rome, a foreigner trying to rob men of jobs. He didn't understand. He didn't know what to do. He didn't do much of anything. He couldn't. One day, when a bunch of men attacked his parish priest on the street, he waded in to help the priest. He managed to get him inside a store. That night, on his way home from work, he stopped off for a beer. When he left the bar, 2 men followed, carrying empty whiskey bottles. They didn't mean to kill him. They were just going to rough him up a little. They didn't start out to kill. They just started out hating. But 20 minutes later, my grandfather was dead. That's history. They don't teach it in school, but it's real American history just the same. Thomas Finley was killed in 1848 just because he was an Irishman and a Catholic. It happened many times. It happened to many different kinds of people, and still does today. They might be gays, or Jews, or blacks, or Chinese, Asians, Indians, or Mexicans, or just any stranger. It can and does happen in any city, town, or hamlet in this, the land of the free and home of the brave. That is the nature of hate. Hate is a monster that frequently consumes all of those who harbor it. So, the first poem is titled, The Bigot's Burden. The bigot's burden is based upon fear of change and lack of understanding of ideas of anyone outside his sphere. This condition has been forged in the fires of dysfunction and honed through generations. His heart, hardened by years of hardships, has become his albatross, his legacy. He's, by now he's only carrying on an old family tradition. The apple never does fall far, but some apples roll away and grow in different soil. He has been told by those who would keep him down, the fault is not in yourselves, but in those minorities, immigrants, that keep you as an underling. His innocent ignorance is intoxicated by the insidious lies the man behind the curtain uses to divide. Bum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba dum bum bum ba da 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 dum bum ba dum bum ba da dum bum ba da dum ba da 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 dum bum ba dum. Step up, come one and all. See how the great bamboozler flim-flams, fools and fractures them with trinkets and possessions and entitlements. He'll never really let them have. Get the people to agree with what they know in their hearts is not true, and they are yours. Quote, the white slave has taken from him by indirection what the black slave has taken by him directly. Both are plundered, and by the same plunderers. End quote, Frederick Douglass. The next poem is titled, Big Oak Tree is Really Small. Bigotry is an equal opportunity dysfunction. Anyone can become a member. The only requirement is an ability to hate. Hate any race, religion, sexual orientation, nationality, or gender, not your own. It is along the lines of that old tradition, scapegoating and prejudice, with all of the barbaric brutality that comes along with it. A custom more honored in the breach than in the practice. The antithesis of what it truly means to be an American. Here are some things you should know. It fosters small-mindedness and it impedes growth. It chills the human heart and disrupts the flowing milk of human kindness. It decimates the human spirit created in created image, rendering the soul a place where decency declines to dwell. Allowed to go untreated, the host shrinks into a sunken, shallow shell of its former self, its former noble self, and makes the lives of others an arduous, derisive hell. Quote, you are made to hate each other because upon that hatred is rested the keystone of the arc of financial despotism, which enslaves you both. End quote. Tom Watson, American populist leader, 1886. And finally, last but not least, it's all the rage. Hate blots out the light, brings darkness to the soul, makes it hard to find the way. Violence is its byproduct, corrodes the nation's core till at last it fails. The heart that's ruled by hate is doomed, and the land in which it breeds, endangered. And that's all she wrote.